Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first event here in Equasys. This year is very important for us because we started to change a little bit our policies, and part of it is to get you guys more information about how to live here properly. Some of this, I remember that a while ago I went to the States, the opposite, and I got my passport stolen. I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. And I think it's really, really good that you guys are here. We are grateful for your presence. And also, in the way that we want to thank you is to offer you information. The best guy in Manta to offer this information, this legal information, updated information. In Ecuador, the laws change from month to month. So we bring you here everything that you must
Here.
know in order to live here and to not worry about what might happen in the future. To have everything ready, it's not a question of being like prepared for death or anything, but just to rest assured that your willingness will stay. That whatever you want to do will stay here and will be done. We offer you here in this seminar the best way to get it. My name is Domenica Mendoza. I'm the office director here in Manta, and I'd like to welcome our head attorney, Marcos Chiluisa, for this big seminar. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to have you here this afternoon. I know during COVID times, as Mark said the other day, we have been postponing this event for right now 2 years. I remember when I was coming back from the States. It was on March 14th, and our event was organized by March 20th, and everything was closed. So, well, I'm so happy that we are here. I'm so happy that you are here with us. Um, this is a very, very sensitive information that we want to share with you. I know it's hard to think about what will happen when we're not here anymore. But being an expat, living in another country, those are the type of things that you have to consider because eventually it will happen. So this afternoon, we're bringing information about wills, medical POA, and affidavit of remains. Those three documents are very, very important for you. And well, thank you, Domenica, again. And I would like to start giving this presentation with the Ecuadorian wills. First of all, I would like you to understand why a little bit of history on why the laws in Ecuador are created and the way they are. In Ecuador, probably have you noticed that we have multi-generational houses where all the families they live together, grandparents, parents, kids, grandkids. So everyone they that's part of the culture. Everyone lives together. So the reason of that is because the law protects the family and protects the society as is in Ecuador. The family is the center of the society in Ecuador. So what happens if the owner of the property, let's say granddad, decides to give the property to someone else? What will happen with the whole family? They will have to find another place. So as I said, they want to protect the laws in Ecuador. They want to protect the family as is. So based on that, I want to explain you how the beneficiaries of the assets of a person who passes away, um, the beneficiaries, they have a certain order according to the law. First, we have the first beneficiaries we have are the kids, children. If you don't have children, then parents. No kids, no parents, then the spouse. No kids, no parents, no spouse, then brothers and sisters, and then nephews and nieces. If you want to draft a will, if you want to grant a will in Ecuador, you have to follow this order. You cannot skip. Okay, I don't like my kids, so I want to leave everything to my wife. You cannot do that because in the future they can come and they can pursue a lawsuit to the spouse who is the beneficiary of the assets, and then in a trial, an inventory trial, It can be determined, okay, why are you the owner of the property when the deceased person has kids? So the judge will recognize the rights of the children, uh, because they are the people who is called to be the beneficiaries of those assets. Okay, so that's very, very important. And what if we have clients in our office where they have previous marriages and they have kids from previous marriages. So what do they do? In our office, we have advised our clients to the best way on how to protect the assets on the way that you want to disperse your assets is creating a trust in your home country. A trust will survive you. So you have to have a will in your home country. You're going to give instructions to the executor through a will, and the trust will pursue the instructions that you have in your will. So then, in that way, we avoid those very strict rules regarding wills in Ecuador. It's legal. This is some kind of, well, it's an asset protection that other countries and attorneys in the US, specialized attorneys in relocating, they advise to do this. So this is the best way on how to get this well, I don't want to say a problem, but you can resolve and you can leave your assets to whoever you want. Otherwise, if you draft a will, we have some rules. The first rule is 50% of your assets, it will go to the people that I mentioned in the same order. Let's say you have 3 kids. So it will be split your assets, that 50% among your 3 kids. So then we have another 25%. This 25%, it can go to one of these 3 kids or all of them. So this 25%, it can go to your favorite children. So they divide in the same amount, but this 25% can be, one of them can be the beneficiary. And then we have another 25%. This 25% is a free will. So you can give this 25% to any person, to an NGO, to a friend, to whoever you want. I just received a question 2 days ago that this person wants to leave all his assets to an NGO here in Ecuador. I mean, that's very nice, but you cannot do that. You cannot, as an NGO, how can you justify? Okay, well, I have a will and going to get registered this at the register of properties. So the first answer from the register of properties, where the properties are located, the register of properties is going to say, no, this is wrong, and then all the problems will arise because that property will not have any owner and no one to sell, no one to rent. So it is hard. So the best way now that you have this information is, if you don't have a will specifically for this person, my recommendation will be, okay, do like a sales of the property. So the NGO will own the property and then you can save the right to use the property. In Ecuador, we have the real estate rights. It is the right to use the property and the right of sell the property. Those two create what is called the ownership of the property. So you can sell the property, but you still can keep the right to use the property. So that will be my advice for this very specific case. Another thing that I want to tell you right now is I'm going to explain the 3 topics at the same time, but at the end we're going to have some questions, and you probably have some.
Then you have in your folder, there's a few papers. If you can think of any questions that we have during the presentation, then I can gather them, or then you can give it to me later, and I can give you an email if you want. But it's a tool for you. So thank you, Marcus. My microphone went off. But thank you, Marcus, for this first topic. I think it's really important. For me personally, I didn't know this about, like, it sounds crazy to me that you can't leave your assets to whoever you want, right? But it's the law here, and we'll give you the tool of the trust to own your property. So now I would like to speak about the medical POA.
Mhm.
Well, many of you don't know this, but I'm actually a medical doctor. And I think it's really important that you understand why a medical POA is important for you here in Ecuador. As doctors, we cannot make any life-changing decision without consent. In a matter that you need surgery, or for example, you get really sick in the hospital, and then you get worse and worse to the state that you get confused. You cannot get signed consent for surgery or procedure if you're not conscious, or if you're not clear on your senses. So then you'll have to wait for a family member to come and sign for you. Marcus gave me an example the other day about a client, I think it was, that he was in Guayaquil, and he was actually waiting to get surgery. And because he didn't have any family members to come and sign the POA, he had to wait 3 full days for his kid to come from the state and sign the procedure. We understand that 3 days as medical conditions are can be life or death. So I think it's important that you understand that also this medical POA helps you to ensure that whatever happens in an A or B situation, that your will be executed. So the legal aspect of this medical POA, I leave it to the expert.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dominica. Yeah, that's true. Years ago, probably 3 years ago, I received a phone call from one of. It was not a client at the time, but we knew because they didn't know what to do. The son of this lady, it was in the U.S. This lady, she had a condition that she needed surgery right away, and no one else wanted to take, no doctors, they wanted to take the risk of going to a procedure because of this. So they say, no, we can't do anything. So they waited for the son of this lady to come to Ecuador, and after that to start the surgical procedure. So in order to prevent this, our recommendation is to have a medical POA. A medical POA will prevent, and you can trust to someone to make the decisions with you. This is something that you have to speak with a person that you really trust. And also, we like to add, and we recommend to add information in the POA about your, if you consider, of course, about your banking information, because you have to pay bills. And if you go to the bank and you say, my friend is in ER, or it is at the hospital, you cannot withdraw any funds. So you have to choose wisely who is going to be acting as your representative in your medical POA. Another question I received just last night, and it is funny because maybe some of you have these type of questions, is a POA in general, or a medical POA, it can be used after a person passes away? And the answer is no. A POA, it is only valid as long as the person is alive. So probably you have been reading this somewhere, that you can have a durable POA, but no. If someone will be asking you, okay, what happened? The person passed away, and then the POA is not valid anymore. So that will cover the medical POA. And again, if you have any questions, please, at the end, we will be answering all those questions. Following with this, we have the affidavit of remains. Just 2 weeks ago, we have the experience of having the mom of one of our clients here in Ecuador who passed away. She came as a tourist, Um, it was a real nightmare for everyone because the funeral services home, they didn't know what to do, and and our client was sent from one place to another place. He didn't speak the language. It was so hard and frustrating. And I want to share a personal experience with you. And this is my both of my parents, they passed away. And when the time came, they have everything arranged. And that was so amazing for us, even though that, yeah, of course, I miss my parents, but it was so easy for us as their children to take care of cremation, funeral services, and the funeral homes here in Ecuador, by law, they are requested by the Ministry of Health that you give a consent, that you give a authorization to cremate their remains. If not, you're going to be worried. But if that's not your wish, you should have an affidavit for remains. So then you just file, or your family member or your friend files this with the um, funeral services, and that part will be covered. So I really hope all this information, it's I try to be very careful with my language talking about this, but I think this is the best way on how we can talk. And right now, I don't know if you have any questions, and Dominique can help you with them too. So yeah.
Marcus, thank you for everything. I think the information is really clear. I don't know if there's a special topic that you would like us to repeat or something that wasn't clear. Do you have any questions? Please raise your hand. Yes.
What if we planned on donating our body to science?
Okay, that's a really good question.
Good question.
If you want to donate your body to science, my recommendation will be that you make the arrangements with the institution that they're going to receive. So they're going to having you signing some forms, and then whenever your I mean the death is going to be registered, they will have some special document, because doctors, they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to have your family coming in 2 weeks and saying, why are you using the body of my family member? So if you have a written confirmation with them, so then you can do that. Okay. All right. Somebody else about wills or
So I would like to give you guys a question that we actually had online. I think it's a very important question. So can two people be on the medical POA? The answer is yes. There's usually a principal one and then a supplement. A supplement? Yeah, is that the word? I don't know. The second one. So you can have two. In case one of them is not available, there's only two of them. You had a question.
I'm trying to understand the procedure and I don't know the word lineage, the order of passing property along. My guess is most of us here do not have our children here in this country. So if one of the two spouses, if they're still together, dies, you're saying the assets do not go to the other spouse. They go to the children that do not live in this country. Is that correct?
good. Thank you for the question. Okay. When a couple, when a married couple or common law couple, they own real estate in Ecuador, they own 50% equal of the property. So you, both of you, you own 50% and 50%. And what if something happens to any of you? This 50% is going to be split among your heirs, following the rules that I just explained. The spouse is not a beneficiary of your assets, because you already, I mean, in this case, I'm sorry to use making the assumption, but the spouse already owns the 50%. So out of your 50% ownership of your property, you have to dictate your will. Okay. Okay. All right. When you don't have you don't acquire inheritance rights. You don't acquire inheritance rights before the person passes away. Only after a person passes away, it is when the rights of the heirs, it is when they come into effect. So you cannot write anything before a person passes away. Only after a person passes away, you can transfer the rights to the spouse. I don't know if that answers your questions. After the person passes away, only after. But how do they do that? And I forgot to explain this. In the US, we have what is called, or Canada, the probate process. So you prove that you are related to a person who just passed away. In Ecuador, it is called posesión efectiva or effective possession. This is a procedure that you go before a local notary in Ecuador and you make a statement, or you declare under oath with your birth certificate saying, I'm the children of the person who just passed away, the death certificate, and you take this to the register of properties and you get it registered. And only after you get the effective possession registered, it is when the beneficiaries, they will have rights on the property. So in this case, two kids, the spouse, it gets registered, the effective possession, and only after the effective possession gets registered, you can transfer those rights to the spouse. Okay,
We had
good.
another online question. I think it wasn't clear about the trusts and why are they important here. The trusts, we suggest to create them in the States or in Canada to buy property, for the trust to own the property. And that was a question. So if the trust created in the States is valid here to just implement it, the answer would be no, right? They have to buy through a trust. The trust has to own your assets in order to give the instructions from the will that you create in your home country.
That's so true. The
Questions?
question over there.
Oh, thank you. The question was about the burial or cremation. Spouses can make that decision for each other, yes?
Yes.
Okay. We are spouses. Does Ecuador recognize us as spouses?
If in your cedula it says that, if not, my personal recommendation will be to have your marriage registered here, so then you locally can obtain, or that's the easiest part, that you can look.
We have a marriage certificate, but it's not apostilled or anything like that.
Okay, the reason why we recommend to have your marriage registered here is because if something happens to you, then why is this person making decisions over this person who just passed away? So if we find a strict person who follows the law at the civil register, at the funeral homes, they will want to see that you are married. Basically, you are not, unless you prove something different. And how you prove different, you need to get a marriage certificate that is not older than 6 months. The reason of that is because in Ecuador, it takes 6 months to get divorced. So we don't know if a person, if we have a marriage certificate from last year, if this person is still married to this other person. So having a marriage certificate no older than 6 months, you can get that, you can get your marriage registered here in Ecuador.
But we were married years ago. The certificate is from
Yeah, but
8 years ago.
I understand. But the Ecuadorian government, they don't know, because for them it takes 6 months to get divorced. So if you were married 8 years ago, and how do we prove that you're still married? Because let's put this example. You're a wealthy person.
No.
And you have another person who's coming to say, well, we have been married for 8 years, but what if you don't? What if you are not married to that person anymore? So that person will be taking over your assets, saying, I'm the only beneficiary of the assets of this person who just passed away.
So does every married couple, like Maureen and Paul, do they have to register their marriage here in Ecuador?
My recommendation is yes, but you don't have to. You don't have to, because if you get it
You do.
registered here, you just go to a local civil register office and you ask for a copy. If you don't have your marriage registered here, you have to go back to the US or Canada or your home country and request an updated copy of your marriage certificate, and then going through the apostille process or the legalization in Canada. Yeah,
That would be great.
yeah,
Okay, I have
yeah. Go ahead.
I don't mean to be joking about
No,
this.
no, go ahead.
This is a before you die question. If one of us gets critically ill, a heart attack, a stroke, something like that, what is the best thing to do? Call an ambulance, call a taxi, call in driver, go to a public hospital, go to a private.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
yeah. It is hard, and I receive these type of questions very often when I speak with our clients, clients that they are looking to relocate here in Ecuador. And it depends of where you are. If you're living in Manta, my personal suggestion will be call an ambulance, or because they will come very, very soon. But if you're living in San Clemente or San Jacinto, they don't have ambulance.
Right.
You just need to have something prearranged with a friend that you can call this person and taking you to the hospital. So, I mean, that's what we did when my mom was very ill. So we have three phone numbers of three different ambulances. And whenever we needed, we called in and they took her to the hospital. And that was the best way that we sorted out for my family.
Is that information that you have private ambulance services? Oh,
Yeah,
or can I just look for it online, private
yeah, yeah.
ambulance? Yeah.
You can
Okay,
do that.
we'll get it.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So anybody else? Any other question?
Any online question?
Question here, Dominica. Here and there.
For the POA for medical decisions, if you're married, are you able to make those decisions for your spouse without a POA, or do you need one?
If you have your marriage
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
We do. We registered a marriage.
Because yeah, because that I was going to yeah, I was going to refer that. Mhm. Absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, you should have a friend who, I mean, you need to talk to a person who wants to take the responsibility of that. But yeah, if you're married in Ecuador, you probably have noticed that we have the name of our spouse, whether it's common law or if you're married to the other person. So you don't need to you don't need to have a medical POA for your spouse, but for a friend, yes, you do. Just in case. Yeah. Um, over there.
I think that you answered the question, but I just want to make sure that I understood what you said.
Yes.
So I think that to the guys at the other end, they ask uh, if your spouse passes away, uh, and you, that person wanted to be cremated, but there was nothing in writing. So that's the other person could make that decision, because in the example that you use, you said that that was not possible unless it was in writing that that person wanted to be cremated. But if it's your spouse and your marriage certificate is recognized here, then that's okay. You don't need to have it in writing.
Okay. Yeah. I need to make a clarification on that. When you have your family here and the laws were created here, I mean, for Ecuadorians that they live here, they never were considered on having this float or the expats coming here. But your question is very, very important, because as a family, and if it is recognized in your cedula, your family can make those decisions on your behalf. But my recommendation is, even though that you have your family here, whenever, if you have the chance to hire the funeral home services beforehand, before, get that, like, you fill out the form for that, so then your family don't have to do anything.
So it's better to have it in writing, even though, again, I can make the decision if he's the one that's gone. I'm gonna say he's gonna be cremated. So whatever that is. So it's better to have it in writing. That's what you're saying. That's your suggestion.
Everything right.
Okay. I have another question, and it's actually something that you mentioned. I'm a physician as well. So, and you said that, let's say that I go to Quito next week and I get into an accident and I need to be operated immediately. I would not be operated and I will die unless I have something in writing for the doctors to take me into the OR. Okay.
Your marriage certificate. So that's basically the main reason we advise on having your marriage registered here, because you can obtain that copy locally and you don't have to go back to your home country to get an updated copy.
Okay, so once your marriage is registered here, it's only good for 6 months, is what you're telling us?
No, what I'm saying, you only can get registered your marriage certificate that is not older than 6 months.
Oh, the foreign
Yeah.
one is, okay, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Is everything clear? Any other question not regarding the end of life document since we're already here? Yeah.
Perfect. So as a final words, I want to thank you for being here. This is our first event, and we're planning to do this hopefully monthly, because we'll receive another email saying there is a group of expats having dinner right now. I don't know where, but I guess they want to have this information. We're recording this right now to share with on Facebook, and also we can share this recording with you. But always there are some very specific questions that people have, and of course the purpose of this is to having you with some answers and welcoming you to Ecuador. Ecuador is a beautiful country. I
Regarding this seminar, please write us too, so I can make a small recap for you, so you can get a full understanding on the information. On your folders, there is a presentation about this, and it's basically a summary. But if you have anything else, please let me know. Again, my name is Domenica Mendoza. I would like to thank Romina, who's back there. She is like the creator of everything. As you can see her, she's like in the computer, in there, taking pictures. So I'm proud to say that I'm part of a great company, and I'm very, very happy that you came to us. We hope to have many more attendees the next one. Please tell all your friends that you had such a good time here, so they can come next time. So enjoy the night. Thank you.